Hey guys, I just want to come and talk to you for a few minutes. We're sitting in my backyard, and uh, I just prefer you to look at my backyard than my face. I want you to hear my message. I was reading through Proverbs this morning, and I'm before I come on and talk about a book, I like to read through it, a couple of times, and um, I really think, I really think that it's important that we talk about the dynamics of family in the times that we're living in, because family is very important, and Satan knows that, and he is trying to destroy family. And just since I have, grown up and become an adult, I'm in my 40s now, but even back in my 20s, we have really skewed the definition of what it means to actually love another human being. And it has become about what makes us feel good and what can be done for us, and a whole lot less about what can we sacrifice that we love for someone else. And I don't, I don't, I mean, not necessarily in a major way, but very early on in my relationship to my husband, I knew and understood, having come out of many bad relationships before my husband and I got together, I understood that it isn't his responsibility to fix me. It's not his responsibility to make me happy all the time. Um, these are things that we're supposed to be leaning on God to do. You can't bring together two broken people in the world and expect that that person is supposed to fix what's wrong with you. It took a long time for me to realize that I was also a problem. I was in a lot of abusive relationships, and I've shared some of my history with my dad and my parents with you. And if you're new here, you can go back and watch those videos. But I'd seen enough bad to know good when I saw it. And my husband is a very good man. He is a loving, and he's very supportive, but he's also very, very different from myself. I am, I tend to kind of float off into the clouds and operate on a completely different plane of existence, whereas he's very giving, but he's very here and now. He's very, he's just simple, in a good way, in a way that is grounded and is logical, and he works really hard. He loves to help other people. That's what he does, and I am more detached from this world, I guess. My heart and my mind are fixed on heavenly things, and I am really waiting on the Lord's return. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life. I've been waiting on the Lord to return for over 30 years. I mean, losing my mom, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't think about the afterlife. Like, I don't think that there's a day that's ever gone by that I haven't considered the afterlife. My husband just doesn't, He doesn't live that way. He's more of a here and now kind of a guy, you know. He rolls with the punches, and I admire that, because that has to take a great amount of faith as well to, you know. I've got a lot more reservations. I put up a lot more flags. I analyze a lot more things. I, you know, lay in bed awake for hours at night, and he's over there snoring. I want to hit him with a frying pan. But, you know, relationships are hard. And if you're going to be in a relationship with another person, the last thing you can expect out of them is to fix you. You know, we tend to not get happy with situations, and then we want to go file for divorce. There's a serious brokenness in the dynamic of family these days. And one of the problems, I believe, is that we have seriously skewed the definition of what love actually means. And, you know, I know Jesus went to the cross willingly. I know that he went there out of love for humanity. I also know that he prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane that if the Lord willing to take, if God willing to take it from him, to take that cup from him, that he would let it pass away, pass from him. It was a very human moment for Christ, you know, but it was about sacrifice. That is what love is. Love is sacrificial, and you're not going to ever get into a marriage that's going to last any length of time. If you're expecting a 50-50 relationship with your partner, it's not always going to be that way. Sometimes your partner's going to be down and out, and you're going to have to put in a lot more than you thought you were going to. And you're going to have personality differences, and there's going to have to be a bridge that is built there. I mean, there's going to be certain things about your partner that you're not going to like, and you're going to have to accept. You know, I'm not talking about abusive relationships, but none of us are the same. None of us are, you know, we all have exhibited the same emotions. We all have exhibited anger and sadness and fear and joy. I get that, but we don't all exhibit those emotions in the same way. About 4 years ago, my father-in-law passed away, and my husband and I decided that we would come and help my mother-in-law. So we came over here to help my mother-in-law in her time of distress. And you know, that's the way that it's supposed to be, but it didn't come without a price. And you know, our relationship suffered, obviously, when you move a woman into another woman's house. There's just always going to be these things that arise in your life, and we can't just run to, well, this didn't make us happy, or this doesn't bring me joy, so I'm going to go and I'm going to run out and get a divorce, or I'm going to run out and I'm going to find somebody else, or, you know. It doesn't fix it. It doesn't fix the brokenness. Part of the brokenness is realizing that everybody's broken. You know, I actually do really well on my own. I like to be alone. And you know, when my husband and I have disagreements, we don't sit and scream about it. It doesn't do any good. All that does is bring more strife and more heartache into your life. Marriage is, you know, if you're married and you've been married for any length of time, and you really want your marriage to work, it's going to come with sacrifices. And we live in a me world. So it isn't any surprise that we have taken the true definition of love and we have turned it into something that better fits our needs. But that isn't the way that it is. And that is why so many families are falling apart. God needs to be the center of your life. And then everything else comes after that. But, Anyway, I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about family, because we're seeing so much destruction in family, and it doesn't just destroy marriages, but kids. They don't really have a say in what happens to them when we start making these decisions for our families and towards our spouse. The Lord is the only one who is going to set things right in all situations. You need to always turn to the Lord, not as a last resort, but as the first and only option for your life. And then let Him do what He needs to do. Sometimes you gotta duck and let Him smack your husband upside the head, or wife, or whatever. But anyway, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time. I just wanted to bring you some family encouragement. Have a good night.